I think engineering has told us that this next presentation is ready, which is going to be a bit of an interesting one. Because while I am aware of what it is, I am not aware of the contents of this. Because this is a slideshow that's been presented for us by the comms team for us to talk about a little bit. So whenever engineering is ready, we're going to bring up the title slide, and I'm gonna maybe tell you a little bit about this. Is there anybody else who'd like to be involved in this that I can throw to for particular slides?
Oh, please! I would love to help out. I love the comms team.
All right, sure. Excellent. Well, hang on a second here. I'm just gonna. If I'm presenting, I need to properly stand up. Here. I need to make sure that I can still see the slideshow on the preview. So I'll stay in the large view here. We'll just folks will jump in for the other slides from the tiny view to make this easy on engineering. But thank you, everyone. Please welcome to the Desert Bus 2020 Comms Sass slideshow. We're going to encourage you all to keep it clean. We're going to encourage you all to keep it spicy. But most importantly, you're going to learn something here today. I am ready for that next slide, Joe. Let's see. We are going to keep it professional. We are going to keep it 3 different things all at once: clean, spicy, and professional. Let's see what we got. Because here in the Desert Bus Comms team, you might know about our Post-it wall. Every year we have the Post-it window that you're able to see. But it shows a lot of the spirit of the comms team and the goofs and what's going on behind the scenes. It's been a little bit trickier this year because, we don't have, a physical space. Well, we each have our own physical space, but what we do have is an online Post-it wall that the comms team has been playing around and having a little bit of fun so that they can keep things professional and spicy and clean. Joe, hit me with that next slide. Because one of the things that comms is all about, and what we ask ourselves is, what, and you're really just going to have to keep hitting those buttons, is bus. What is bus? Is this a bus? Truly, one must wonder, because these are the questions of our time that try the comms team, that make us wonder, what is bus? Is bus a place, a person, a thing? Is this a bus? Is that noise outside also a bus? It's difficult to tell. Next slide, please. Inquiring Grams want to know, hey, all those Grams out there in the audience have been sending us a lot of feedback saying, hey, how do I pronounce baseball? Well, the answer is that you pronounce it baseball, obviously. That's how the word is pronounced, probably. And I'm only reasonably worried that I'm wrong. But it's pronounced baseball. The L, similar to this fish, is not silent. Along with, I'm going to say Lucy Lawless. That's probably Lucy Lawless, who's a big baseball fan. And that's going to come out to giving you baseball. Because Lucy Lawless, if you're not familiar, famous footballer back in the 90s, used to play, beat the heck out of Kevin Sorbo on that other team, which is just wonderful to see. Let's keep going. Kathleen, with our next slide, what do we got here? You're going to come in and tell us about...
Middling smiles. No, I'm calling over from Technology Corner, Andrew. There's so much great technology that the comms team uses to accomplish their mission of being thirsty, such as the Backend. It was a system completely designed and built from the ground up to enable thirst and thirst-related puns. And boy, the comms team spends a lot of time working hard in the back end. They're in there, their entire shifts, relentlessly pounding away at deadlines, leaving nothing unexplored and defined. simply as the place where work happens. Hard, long work. Andrew, could you tell us about the next slide? Did you know?
Of course, absolutely, chat. In that extremely high pitch. But did you know an important fact about the comms team is that they love to spin around in a circle 360 degrees. And it's been looked up. Desert Bus, a giant ravioli is in fact a real thing. The comms team has done the research, and they want you to know that it's called a raviolini, served at 9 inches to a side square, which is definitely an entire meal by itself. Each member of the comms team eats a single raviolini before starting their shift right at the start of those 6 hours.
Good.
And it lasts them through all the way. That gives them the energy they need to bust hard in the back end.
Excellent.
Yeah, let's continue. Oh. Aha, there we go. See, this raviolini seen here is actually one of Dawnguard's raviolini from this morning that just got left around. Nobody got to it. And it has been left on a paper plate. And it does look delicious, and I do also want that raviolini so that I can power my bus on through the back end. Let's go. Jacob, can you please tell us about our next slide here, as I believe you're the most foremost expert in the field.
I would be very happy to.
Mm-hmm.
I think I know what's coming. Cat. Ah. I see what you did. That's a ladder. One might refer to this as a clickety-clackety ladder. It is known by no other name. It goes up, it goes down, and we want to communicate in a chain for that clickety-clackety.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what I got. I don't actually know much about this. I haven't been hearing about this. Oh, good, it spins my entire life. It did go up and down. Yeah, it did. It did. It went up and down. It went up and down really well. Andrew is now a cat. Mm-hmm. And don't make noise on the comms, mm-hmm. is what I am getting from this. No circles, only X's for the clickety-clackety.
For the clickety-clack.
What spins. Safety first, Jacob. High altitude puzzling requires... Why is that safety first, Jacob, specifically? Why am I being called out? Safety first, Jacob.
Plan that you were going to present, Jacob. You remember?
Nope. High altitude puzzling requires special certification.
You don't have it.
Which I don't. No, definitely. And it's expensive.
That's why you don't have it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. I definitely don't have it. No.
You gotta pay for that out of pocket.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta pay that right out of pocket.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good. I think I did a fine job. Did you know? Spinning. A typical intercity coach weighs about 12,000 kilograms, 26,000 pounds, has a capacity of up to 47 passengers, a two-stroke V8 diesel engine with up to 450 horsepower, an electronically controlled automatic transmission, and air brakes. www.britannica.com. Technology, cars and other vehicles, bus, vehicle, Britannica. If somebody actually explained to me what I was supposed to be doing, and horses. Lots of horses with a spike through them.
450 horses.
Make sure that you always spike your horse. Oh, that's horsepower. Got it. That's not just, okay. Good. Yeah. Excellent.
Mm-hmm. That's all 450 horses, Jacob. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I'm going to come back over here and continue on with our next slide.
Please.
Because after learning about buses and the horsepower, we still don't know a lot about why we are so restricted and move so slowly here. And that's what I'm going to get into with our next topic. Why, despite all that horsepower, we still move slowly. It's uncomfortable to admit because it goes all the way back to the very early origins of Desert Bus. But Graham himself has a button that he can deploy whenever he wants, that he deploys frequently, that restricts the speed of the bus to 45 miles per hour. And we would really love Graham to, after 14 years, please stop pressing that button. But every year, somewhere around the beginning of November, he hits that button, and it sends us to the black void of nothingness, where we need to take note of the fact that this void is filled with screams. There is no additional screamer in the void, which is why we have to be quiet this year. So this year, we introduced quiet time here at Desert Bus to help keep things a little more down-tempo, a little quieter, to make sure that we aren't filling this void with additional screams. And this is why Graham also keeps getting away with it, because we can't scream at him to stop hitting the button. Our next slide was probably intentionally left blank by our presentation team. And I'm sure there's nothing to worry about when it comes to a blank slide immediately after a cursed void. And everything is just fine. And I believe after this we have our guest speakers, Andy and Maddie, here to tell you a little bit about how this void ties into what our comms team is doing next here in the future. Andy and Maddie, if I could please welcome you to the stage to present.
Very much, very glad to be here.
The comms team.
Well, it was, or was it? These are eternal questions that we must keep revisiting and asking ourselves, of course, especially in relation to comms. Are they? We think so. Pretty sure. And Maddie?
We are also pretty sure that they are harnessing the ultimate power, which is, of course, a secret only the comms would know. So we actually don't... Oh, yes, it also involves star wipes.
And Bill Murray.
And Bill Murray, especially.
The biggest star there is.
I mean, is there any bigger?
When he wipes, stand back.
I mean, name a bigger star than Bill Murray.
You can't.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
See? There we are. And of course, we must not... We are in a void, but that is fine, because so is James. He is the Eiffel 65 glue, or... Bruh. Can anyone read that? Bruh.
The font is ineligible.
Dabba D.
Yeah,
Dabba-
Dabba D. It's just the
Dabba-
lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see.
If he was green, he would die.
It was certainly Dabadoo.
Dabba
And
don't.
we wish the best for James. No one has seen him in over 12 hours. We hope he's fine. We had a mannequin on that looks just like him for Dawn Guard, but otherwise we're very worried. If you know where he is, please call us at Eiffel 65, just like in the old movies where you pick up the phone and go, "Give me Eiffel 65."
Yeah.
Just do that.
It'll work like that too. For sure. I do believe that he was last seen in multiple forms in a car with Ben, or was that a couple nights ago? Anyway, it's unclear at this point. But we will keep you updated as more information is clear.
Thank you,
Next
Maddie
slide.
and Andy, for that wonderful presentation.
You're very welcome.
On how it was, and James over there with the Eiffel 65 glue. Let's continue onwards here, because our comms team has prepared a very citrus surprise for you. They wanted to provide something light and refreshing partway through this presentation to let you know that the things that we do here as part of the Desert Bus comms team are only possible through the power of lemons, whether it is lemon oil, lemon balm, lemon juice, lemon rind, lemon glue, lemon cats, lemon blinds. Lemons are everywhere in our everyday lives, and lemons improve the things that we work on and how we get them out the door. If our social networks were fully powered by lemons, then we wouldn't have been stuck with fleets. And that brings us all the way back around to James, because James is unfortunately the person who's responsible for that decision. And our crack Segway squad would like to shame him for making such a poor choice and inflicting that on everyone. It is unfortunate that we have to take time aside to address this during what is supposed to be such a happy time as we crest the $560,000 mark. But unfortunately, James was not able to make this easy on us, and he required us to address this publicly. And for that, I apologize. And I will continue to apologize for James as we shame him. But moving on, engineering, I don't want us to dwell on this negative thing. I want us to bring things around to the wonderful Johnny over in broadcast. He's an incredible asset to the comms team. He's probably quite surprised to find that he is a member of the comms team, but I'm pretty happy to have him on the comms team. I'm pretty happy to have as many more people on the comms team here that I am now additionally in charge of, especially enthusiastic sports fans such as Johnny. He's a wonderful sports fan. He's always got his sports spreadsheets going and his sports writing in Sports Excel and writing in the latest sport-based coding languages to help make our technology setup ever better. Thank you, Johnny, for all the wonderful work you do. Erica, are you able to join us for this next slide?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
Thank you very much.
Now, we're just gonna move away from Johnny's sports thoughts to this soft void, and let's take a moment here to just breathe in.
Then what?
Keep breathing in.
Uh-oh.
Hold it. Maybe the slide will advance.
Oh, I really hope so.
Me too.
Oh.
And now we can breathe out.
Oh boy.
The longer you hold the air in your lungs, the stronger it makes your lungs. You really need to hold your breath for at least 30 to 60 minutes a day. If you're not doing that, your lungs are going to become weak and eventually just like crumble into dust. So you definitely want to make sure that you're holding it. And that is how the strength you get from those deep lung holds is how you become a kaiju. You do not get to grow to be that large unless you really work that lung capacity. And here is a kaiju. Rodin? Question mark? I'm certain. They all look very similar. But if you wish to destroy a mid-sized Japanese town, you need to become a kaiju. It is simply something that you cannot do on your own. You can maybe do it with you could team up with other kaiju if you wanted to take on maybe a larger city, maybe a major metropolitan area. I would stay away from Tokyo. I hear that one's covered. There are plenty of other places in Japan that you can get to. I hear Kyoto's lovely this time of year if you want to go and bust down the downtown area. There's lots of room up in Hokkaido. Hokkaido is basically unclaimed by any kaiju. That's great territory, a brand new fresh market that you can get into. And thank you so much for the comms team for letting us know about that. So I'm going to throw it back to Andrew. Thank you for that brief kaiju breathing interlude.
Erica, it is always wonderful to have you here as a member of our prizes team, which has also recently been absorbed by the comms team in a merger. So heads up, I'm your boss now, and we're going to go to the next slide. Because the B in boss also stands for beverage, and an important thing is to ensure that you only drink the square root of a beverage. Seen here, a beverage such as coffee or tea can be seen to have kind of a brown color, but when you square root it, you actually wind up with clear coffee, which is much, much safer to drink. Less caffeine, less coffee, less tea leaves, none of those herbs and spices in there. You just really get to the root of the experience. And let's continue on here, because the comms team is all about the root of beverage and bringing things to an extremely high place under I'm going to say that's Ultra in Miami. under the purple lights of the Ultra Music Festival in Miami, Florida, which better not be happening this year. Everybody, please think about how much you would love this, and then please stay home so that you can experience this again later in the future. But also, please don't put your phones up like that. It's a real problem for the comms team. Every person who raises their phone up high in the air at a music festival, you are making Desert Bus jobs harder. Every time you do that, it has a significant impact on the reception as well as the bandwidth that the comms team is able to use to get the prize information out there. So when you see people doing that, just tell them no, it's a problem. Let's continue. It's behind me. I'm sorry, folks. I know I'm supposed to be presenting. I'm supposed to be professional, but I thought I could have finally found that horse. I was really hoping that was okay. No, I apologize. I was really hoping that I was able to locate the horse, and it if it's behind me, I can't find it. I'm not seeing nothing, y'all. So. The importance of the 80s jazz pattern here in relation to the comms team, and that we'd like you to consider, is the fact that this makes for the best possible paper cups for any beverages, whether they are rooted or unrooted, to be drunk out of. And the TI-83 graphing calculator is potentially one of, if not the most important things that you could be drinking out of that cup. It is possible to help you out with your cosines, with your sines. You can go off on weird tangents after you've drunk enough of this, and it'll just help power you through the day, much as our comms team does with their enormous Raviolini. And Kathleen, if you're able to talk to us a little bit about our next slide here.
Absolutely.
Because it's time for us to stop considering the TI-83 graphic calculator. Its day in the sun is done, and we no longer care.
That adds up. All right. Yeah. For our next slide, instead, I want you to consider a short pause. More breathing time. For our next slide, I'd like you to consider this message, which I will not read to you. That is your own problem. Read it to yourself, but know that all words of wisdom in this presentation have been neatly encapsulated here. Once you can decode this, you've got it. But for now, like I said, you deal with it. I'm not here for that. We're not heretics. We cannot blaspheme. What we do not revere is not what that note says, by the way. I'm not giving you any shortcuts. You do have to look it up yourself. All right.
Thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. And let's close things out here on one final important note from our comms team. This is the most important message that they can possibly leave you with, which is that you should love what you love, 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 and so on and so forth. Because it's important that you love what you love, and what you love is you loving what you love, as that's the only way to really achieve true harmony here. Kathleen?
If you don't love what you love, it'll be a tremendous loss.
It will be just an enormous loss if you do not love what you love. And with that, on that most important note, we thank you for your time here today on the Comm Sass slideshow. And we thank every member of the communications team who helped put whatever that is together for us. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for being able to pop online and join us here as we ruin this wonderful presentation that you put together.
What an amazing presentation. Thank you, Julie.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Our whole comms team has been working on that, I believe, right, Julie?
I believe, yeah. I know Tim made a few contributions. I feel the bulk of the contributions have been me, Peach, and Matthews. So the weirdest ones.
I mean, that all seemed pretty normal. That aligned with what's in our comms run book.
It's
as
true.
near as I can tell.
We play things extremely by the book.
And that book is the dictionary. What happened?
I am here to answer any questions that may have been raised over the course of the presentation.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Was that actually a photo of Ultra Music Festival in Miami?
I do not know. I googled rave
Okay,
and picked an image.
sick. And a lot of this stuff ties back into things that have happened over the course of Desert Bus as well, right?
Yes,
Like
the comms presentation this year is largely made up of abstracted representations of moments that occurred throughout the run so far.
Hmm. So this is in a way, this is basically just the poster map in slideshow format.
It's a deeply artistic endeavor.
Yes, it was.
Incredible. Any other questions for Julie here about whatever that was we just saw?
What was the language that that was up
Yeah.
there that was then translated?
I am so glad you asked. Those are actually the lyrics to a traditional Georgian praise of the Virgin Mary. Which oh gosh, it's I need to have a look at my notes. That is Shenchar Vanaki, which translates to "You are a vineyard." It's a traditionally Christian Orthodox hymn. However, it was technically classified as secular during the Soviet occupation of Georgia, so that it could continue to be performed, and it now holds both a secular and a religious role in Georgian society and is often sung at weddings as a praise of the bride herself.
Oh.
It's beautiful.
That famous ditty.
It is quite famous. It's actually I learned it's actually in Civ 6.
Huh.
Oh.
Oh, rad.
For Georgia.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
I have the lyrics here. It's beautiful.
Excellent.
I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't.
That's really, really cool.
I had two quick questions. Well, no, I lied. I have three quick questions. What moment of Desert Bus was the lemons?
That was Ashton creating the Dawn Guard banner in bath bomb form, as he followed through on his promise to load it with citrus.
Delightful.
That's wonderful. And the Johnny, our sports friend, who is coding hard, I can now see full screen, was working hard in our studio on some data science of heavy alcohol consumption.
Yeah, that was the last file I had open for my biostatistics course a few semesters ago.
Okay.
Awesome.
I was trying to figure that out. Like I was talking through that slide, but at the same time trying to figure out what in the world that was in the background. It was perfect.
It's far.
Excellent.
Yep. And
It was. That was great, Julie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
welcome.
Back to the list of things to Google at the end.
Yep.
Anytime you want to make me a slideshow, please.
Oh, I'd love to. I make slideshows for lots of reasons.
Oh, fantastic.
That
right.
sounded very ominous.
Let me talk to you next time we do a Loading Ready Live.
Yeah. That sounds fun as heck. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Julie, and thank you everyone on the comms team for putting that together. I appreciate
you for
setting
having
aside
me.
time for this.